everybody, and welcome to Storm Reads, and today I'm going to start a reading vlog for this week. It is Sunday in the afternoon, and I've just gotten home from church and ate and all that stuff, and thought I would come up here and talk about the books that I am going to be reading this week. So this week is the Magical Readathon, the mini readathon called the Aurelium Gear Up, and I needed to read 2 books for that, and so the reason I haven't been reading on this one is because it's for that one, and I didn't want to get too far into it, but I did want to get a little bit into it because it's like 500 pages. So now I'm going to gear up, and I'm going to finish this bad boy this week. And that's Killing Floor by Leigh Childs, which is the group read that you are doing with me if you're participating in the Discord. And I know there are a few that have already started reading on this, and it was just kind of a read at your own pace type of thing. So I am kind of excited to get farther into this to see what's going to happen and why they grabbed Jack Reacher at the beginning and thought he murdered somebody. So I'm kind of curious to see what's going on. And so yeah, so I got this one. This was for read a book over 400 pages. I forgot what it was for. Oh, I think it was for, I chose a staff of some sort, I think it was. Yeah. I can't remember what it's called. And I don't have, it's a pole arm. That's what it is. It's like one of those big staffs, and they call it a pole arm. So I guess because it's long, we need to read a book that was over 400 pages, which this qualifies because it's 500 and some pages. So that's why I'm reading this one. And then I needed to read a book that has night on the, it looks like night on the cover, or it has the word night in the title. And as you can tell, this is a night scene. It's got the light back there and everything. So I'm using this Theodore Boone, The Abduction by John Grisham for that prompt. So I have to read this one. And then some other books that I just have going that I need to work on. And I'm working on The Wire in the Blood by Mcdermott. This is the second book in the Tony Hill and Carol Jordan series. So I'm reading it because it is the second book, and also it's got 00, so it counts for March Mystery Madness for that. And so I'll be working on this one, but it's a chunker too, because it's about almost 500 pages. And so yeah, I'm listening to the audiobook of this one. And I'm listening to the audiobook for these two as well. It's just an audiobook kind of month. And because I have these big chunkers to try to get through. I am also working on In the Woods by Tana French. And I had to have the audiobook for it too. I've gotten a little ways, but not very far. It's not really grabbed my attention so far. And it is a big chunky book too, because it's almost 500 pages. Next time, note to self, look at the page count of all the books that you have on your TBR before you use them for readathons. And so I put a little chunky one on here, so I would like to try to get through this one this week too, which is The Postman Always Rings Twice by James N. Caan. I have read a little bit of it. I am on chapter 2. It's definitely a product of his time and very dated with some of the racial stuff that's in here. So keep that in mind. But so far it's okay. I mean, nothing's really happened. I'm only on chapter 2. And it's super skinny. So I needed a skinny book with all these other big ones. And as far as I know, I think that's all the books that I have currently going. I'm sure, stick around, I will add books as we go. You know how I am. Morning, everybody. It is Monday morning, and I am waiting in the parking lot of the doctor's office while my dad is getting his 3-month checkup for his diabetes, and we've had quite the morning. We were supposed to be here earlier, and we had to reschedule because we had a flat tire and had to get it fixed. And so that put us behind. And so now we're just behind on the day. But anyway, I thought I would pop in and just tell you that while I'm sitting here, I am going to be listening to Killing Floor by Leigh Child. I am not quite halfway through it and everything, and I'm really curious to see what else is going to happen with Jack Reacher. So, hello everybody. It's still Monday. It's, I don't know, around 8 something maybe. I haven't actually looked at the clock, so I don't know. In the evening, and I plowed through it because I wanted to get it finished because I have so many things that I need to read. And it went really quick once I get going. And so I finished Killing Floor by Leigh Child. This is the first Jack Reacher book. And I thought it was okay. I liked it. I think my only real criticism is the length of it. It's like over 500 pages. And for a mystery thriller, sometimes the length gets to me and I get a little bored towards the end, which is kind of what happened to this. I was listening to it on audiobook and I felt myself just kind of like zoning out because I'm like, it's not over yet. Because it was so long. But other than that, I liked it. Jack Reacher gets thrown into things right off the bat. He is arrested in the small town. And he has no clue why he was arrested. And then we find out some things later. Once he gets out, it's kind of sad. But it does, because of some things that happen, it does throw him in to the midst of what is going on in this small town. And why are certain things happening in this small town. And it seems like, it's really strange that this town doesn't have very many people in it, but at the same time, none of the businesses are like dying, and so why are they not, dying off? Because it didn't look like there would be enough people to keep the businesses going, so there has to be something going on. He finds out that, there's only a couple of police that he can trust. Everybody else is suspicious, and he doesn't know who he can trust. He trusts Roscoe and Finley, and then he knows that there are some other people in this town that have some things going on. He was arrested with this other guy named Hubble, and Hubble, who was afraid to say anything to him, but at the same time wanted to confess some things and told him a few things, which gets him going on, like, what is kind of going on in this town. He's like, I fear for my life and my family's life if I tell you anything, but at the same time, he's like, I'm in trouble. I'm in, like, big, big trouble, and I need help and stuff. So, yeah, so he knows some things are going on, and he notices there's some people that are following him, and instead of leaving the town, like, they would just hope he would just leave the town and not pay any attention to what's going on. Once he finds out some certain things, there is no way he's going to leave this town until he figures out things and he takes care of business, so to speak. And so, yeah, it was pretty good. I just thought it was a little long, but it did speed right along, but it just seemed like the story, it just took a while for the story to get to the end at points. Towards the end, it was like, can we just wrap this up? I don't know. It just felt long, but that's probably just me. I'm not a huge fan of long books. So it's probably just me. But I would give this 4 stars. I did like it. I don't normally binge read, like, series back-to-back books, but I have the second book, Die Trying. I'll put a picture here. And I am going to be reading that this month as well. And I wanted to go ahead and get it in because I only have 7 days left on the audiobook that I got from the library. So I need to hurry up and get it done. And I'm going to be buddy reading that with Tammy, one of my subscribers and Discord friends. And we're going to buddy read that one together because that's one of her favorite ones that she likes out of the Jack Reacher series. So I'm kind of curious to see how the second one is going to go, because I have a feeling he's like one of those guys that maybe travels around to different places and gets himself into trouble everywhere he goes. So I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen next with Jack Reacher. And because I finished that, I'm going to try maybe a couple episodes of the new Reacher TV show that's on Amazon Prime, because I've been wanting to try it, but I had to read the book first, and so might try that later tonight. I think I might. I'm not really in the mood to do too much reading right now, since I really did just binge half of that book today. So I'm kind of reading out, I guess you can kind of in the mood for something different, so I might try that. But also, I did read a little bit on Hardcover and Homicide by Kate Carlisle. I'm still plugging away at this one. I can tell it's not going to be a real favorite. I'm hoping maybe I will get more into the series as I go, but this is just number one, and it's just okay for me right now. I'm 45% into it, and it's not grabbing me, and so I'm not wanting to like pay a lot of attention to it. So it's just taking me a while to get through. But it's not to the point of like DNFing it. It's just I just read a little bit on it, and hopefully eventually it will kind of grab my attention a little bit more. But right now it's just not really. I do think that I will start on this one maybe tomorrow. This is the Abduction, Theodore Boone Abduction by John Grisham. It's the second book in the Theodore Boone series, and it's also the next book I need to read for the Magical Readathon's Gear Up thing. It's for one of my... I picked out the Goddess of Night and Nightmares, I think it is. I can't remember what her name is. Maybe I'll like put it down here so you can see, because I don't even think I can pronounce it. But you had to read a book that either was set at night on the cover or had night in the title. And so as you can see, there is the light out and everything, and it's like very dark, that it is a night scene on this one. So I'm going to use it for this. And they're pretty short. They're only like 4 hours on audiobook, so I should be able to finish this tomorrow. And so that is going to be my goal. And so, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say right now. I'm going to get off of here and watch some TV. Hello, everybody. It's Tuesday, and it's sometime in the evening. I'm not quite sure exactly. But I thought I would come on because I finished Theodore Boone, The Abduction by John Grisham. It is the second book in the Theodore Boone series. So now I have read book 1 and book 2 for March Mystery Madness. That was how I was doing this, to read 2 books from this series. And this one was fun. It was about April, who is Theodore's friend. She has a really bad home life. Her father just like leaves and just goes away for long periods of time. He has a band, and he goes out with them and things, and he just doesn't care about when he comes home. And her mother is kind of got some mental problems, and maybe some issues with like alcohol and things, and she just skips out a lot, and she might just disappear for a few days and leaves April by herself, and she's afraid and scared. And well, one of these times when her mother is gone for a couple of days, April goes missing, and when she comes back, she finds that April is missing, and there's no note, there's no nothing. She has no clue where she's gone. The police get involved. They involve Theodore because that's his friend. Theodore is her friend, wants to know if he might have known something. Did she tell him something, anything, and stuff? And Theodore is really worried now, and so he's trying to figure out where April might have went. She could have ran away from home. He knows that, her home life is really bad. But at the same time, he's not sure. He thought maybe she would tell him that she was going to run away, but then he also knows that she might not tell him, and so he has to try to figure out what's going on. He gets a group of friends to go like looking for her and things like that, and his uncle Ike gets involved, helping him figure out some things. And yeah, it was just a good one. I really enjoyed it. I would give this one 4 stars. And I am interested in continuing on with the series, which is good because I do have the whole series. I do plan on continuing with this series, just not right at the moment. And I have decided to go ahead and go off my TBR again. I had this one and it was kind of an iffy. I didn't know, and so I never talked about it. But I do have The Postman Always Rings Twice by James M. Cain. Excuse me. And it's a real short one. And I've noticed that a lot of the mystery thrillers that I put on my list are like huge chunkers, like 400 pages or more, and I'm like, my brain can't handle all these long ones. I needed something short. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. All I know about this one is it's about Frank and Cora. Frank is a drifter. He comes in and says vagrant, and he takes a liking to Cora right off the bat. But Cora is married to Nick, the restaurant owner, and they decide that they want to be together, and so they are going to kill her husband. But something doesn't go right on their like first attempt, I guess. I don't know how many attempts, but yeah, I've gotten far enough that they tried it, things didn't go right, and then they had to like back out, and now they're not quite sure what's going to happen. But yeah, it's okay so far. I'm 32 pages into it. But it's a short one. It's only like 120 pages. So, I mean, a lot going to happen in this short little book, I'm guessing. But yeah. I do find it interesting. This is an old book. It came out in 1934, and on the back it says, "This is Cain's first Cain. This is Cain's first novel, and it was published when he was 42 and become an instant sensation. It was banned in Boston, and Albert Camus later acknowledged that it was both the inspiration and the model for his novel, The Stranger." So I found it interesting that it was banned in Boston. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And it's definitely dated and definitely part of its time period. There's a lot of like racial kind of slurs in here and things like that. So just know that. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens. I know there's a movie, and maybe after I read this, I can try to find the movie. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to talk about right now. And so I think what I'm going to do now is take a break from reading and watch a couple more episodes of Reacher. Because I did enjoy the first couple episodes that I seen. It really does kind of mimic the book pretty good. There's a few things in it that I don't particularly remember in the book. But I think it lends, it's good cinematography, I guess. It lends a little bit backstory about him and his brother, because there's like some flashbacks that he's thinking about his brother when they were younger. And I thought that was pretty good. And so far, it's going pretty good to kind of where the book and the movie are kind of lining up pretty good. Or the TV show, not movie. So, yeah. Gonna watch some more of that. Hello, everybody. It's Wednesday, about 8:45 at night. Just got off of reading sprints over at Tiffany at the Beach Bum Bookworms. And because I just finished reading The Postman Always Rings Twice by James M. Cain. And I'm reading this for March Mystery Madness because it has twice in the title. And I've always been kind of curious about this. And I just thought it was okay. It's definitely a product of its time. But it was really small, and there just wasn't a lot of substance to it. But it's about Frank Chambers, who is a drifter who comes to town. He likes Cora, who is married to Nick, and they decide that they're going to try to kill her husband so that they can be together. Things don't go quite as planned the first go around, and so they have to try it again. And yeah, it was just okay. They were deplorable characters, and pretty much got anything that they deserved in towards the end or whatever it is. Frank was probably worse than Cora, but they were both horrible. I mean, they were plotting to kill her husband, so I mean, they're not nice people. But I just didn't think there was that much going on. But it was okay. I would try another book by James M. Cain. I am curious to read some of his others. I know he has a few other ones. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember the names, but I think they were made into movies, or at least one of them. If I'm thinking right, he might have been the one that did Double Indemnity. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. If it's totally wrong, I will just say that here that I just got it wrong. But I think so, but I'm not sure. And I have started, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I've started Die Trying by Leigh Child. It is the second book in the Jack Reacher series. I am 26% into the audiobook, I think. Got a different narrator than the first one. The first one was narrated by Dick Heel, and I got used to him. And then now I have a different narrator, so that's kind of weird. This guy is okay. And I think I'm liking this book more than Killing Floor. And I think a lot of it has to do with the POV. It's from third person, and Killing Floor was in first person, and Die Trying is from like a third person point of view, and I kind of like that better. I know some people like first person better, but I like third person better. It's just what I like. And so I think I'm liking this one, enjoying it. It just seems to be flowing a lot better. It's pretty interesting, but I tell you, Jack Reacher just gets himself into trouble right off the bat. It's like, I don't know, the world has it out for him or something. And within like the first like couple paragraphs, he was in the wrong place, wrong time, kidnapped with this woman, and now he is handcuffed with her, and he has no clue what's going on, and he's going to have to try to figure it out. They've just figured out why they think she was kidnapped, and it had nothing to do with the fact that she's an FBI agent. But they don't know exactly what's going to happen to them, and they need to escape. And I still have 10 hours to go, and I'm 26% in. These books are really long. I don't think I like super long thriller books, and so I'm hoping it keeps my attention, but right now I'm enjoying it, so we'll see. And I think that's pretty much all I need to update with, and so I will see you the next time I finish something. Hopefully I will finish something. Hello everybody, it's Thursday, and it's about, 1:30 in the afternoon. And I just thought I would pop on because I finished To Helvetica and Back by Paige Shelton. It's the first book in the Dangerous Type series. And it was the first book for the read-along that we are doing with the Killing Time with Cozies. There's 3 books in the series, so it's a short one. And I've read them before. I listened to them several years ago. It's just been a while, and I couldn't really recall a whole lot. Like, I knew what, like, the basics of the series is about, but as a whole, I couldn't remember, like, I couldn't even remember who the killer was. But I do remember who certain characters were whenever they were reintroduced to me. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember, and everything. But, yeah, so it was just a re-listen, because I did listen to it on audiobook. Marguerite Gavin is one of my favorite narrators, and she narrates the series, so it was really good and just fun to listen to. I listened to it yesterday and today. It wasn't a very long one. I listened to it while I went for a walk, and then I was cleaning up around in my room because it is a cluttered mess. I have more stuff than I have space. And so I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to do with everything. And I think I'm going to try to do my, I'm going to try to maybe do resell on eBay and see if I can make a little money off of some of the stuff that I have around here that I don't necessarily need. But at the same time, I feel like bad throwing it away if maybe I could get somebody to buy it because maybe they collect it or want it. Like, I have some old Disney VHSs and things, and I know some people collect that kind of stuff, and I don't know, I'm just not, I'm a pack rat, and I'm just not one of those people that can just toss it out in the trash because I don't want it, because I think, well, you know, maybe somebody else might want it, or it could be a collector of some sort. That's kind of how my mind works. And so, yeah, so I have a bunch of useless things around that I don't necessarily need. And I'm going to need to get some storage bins, too, for some of the stuff that I do want to keep. So that maybe, even if I have a cluttered mess, if it's stacked up in a nice, neat stacks, then maybe I won't, like, right now I feel like my room is kind of, like, closing in on me because I've just got too much stuff and not enough places to put it. So, yeah, been working on that and listening to an audiobook. So I finished that. And I liked Till Helvetica and Back. I like the whole, like, trilogy. It's really fun. It's based on oh no, I done forgot the main character's name. Claire. Yeah. Claire is lives in a town where they have a lot of businesses that do a lot of things like the old-fashioned way, or kind of rare little oddities or whatever. And her I think it's her grandfather or uncle, one of the two. I just listened to it and now I can't remember. But he used to do it. They repair old typewriters, and they also repair old books and do like some book binding and things like that. And one day, a lady that they knew brought a Underwood typewriter in because some of the keys were bent or something. And it wasn't too long after she had brought the typewriter in that somebody came in wanting to buy the typewriter and got really, really agitated and mad whenever she was like, it's not for sale. It's not even mine. It's somebody else's. I can put you in touch with that person if you want. But and they got really agitated, and then they end up dying. And so something has to do with that typewriter. And whenever Claire is looking at it a little more closely, sees like some numbers, letters, or something like that on the little thingies that do the letters. I don't know what it's called. And stuff. And then that has to do with some of the stuff in the book. And I don't want to say. But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. And I give it 4 stars. Now I'm going to edit video because I've been putting it off because I hate editing. and then I don't know what I'm going to do. Hey everybody, it's Friday about 1:30 in the afternoon, and I thought I would come on here because I finished, finally, Homicide and Hardcover by Kate Carlisle. This is the first book in the Bibliophile series. Now, going into this, I was really anticipating this one because I have wanted to get my hands on it, but I could never find a copy at the library or anything. I finally was able to get a copy, and so I was expecting something, I think, more than what I got. What I wasn't expecting was there to be so much foul language in it for a cozy mystery. And for me, cozy mysteries are my break from that kind of stuff. I read a lot of gritty mysteries. I read horror, romance, all that has all that stuff in it. That, for me, a cozy is supposed to be something without foul language, no blood, no gore, none of that stuff. So it's just fluff and a palate cleanser, and I can just have fun and enjoy myself. And while I like the premise of this story, there was probably about 15, 20, even more like curse words in here, and I wasn't expecting it. And I can handle like some of the lesser ones in the cozy, but this one also had like the F word and the MF word, and that's not cozy. It's not cozy to me. Cozy is supposed to be like really soft and fluffy and fun and not have any of those words in there. I don't cuss personally, and so it's never been something that I care to read anyway, but it's everywhere and there's not a whole lot I can do about it. So, but when I go to a cozy, I'm expecting not to have to deal with that. You know, if you understand, know what I mean. It's just a preference for me. But it did lessen my enjoyment of this. It's about Brooklyn, who is a bookbinder, which I find very fascinating. I really liked that aspect of the story. Reading about her restoring this Faust book was really cool. And she did do a little bit of sleuthing, but I honestly don't think she really did a whole lot of sleuthing. Things just kind of fell into her lap a little bit. She didn't really go out and question people or any of that stuff. Basically, she was trying to stay alive a lot more than anything, because it seemed like somebody had it out for her because they were looking for a certain thing that they thought she had. And I really liked Derek, who is like a security guy who was supposed to be I think he's the guy that was securing the Covington, the collection that had the Faust book in it. And he thinks that she's a murderer at first, but then he realizes, that she's not. And he's like, he just sounded like a really adorable British guy, and I think he was probably my favorite character out of the whole thing, and I believe he's probably going to be like a potential love interest, maybe. And I really like him. I liked him more than I liked Brooklyn. And the whole commune background, too, like she grew up in a commune, and her parents, I think, still live there, and they're very zen, and everything is not really something that I'm like a big fan of either. So it had that against it a little bit. I just didn't care. But yeah, I'm still interested in reading the rest of the series, or at least trying another book in the series to see how it flows. I was just anticipating liking this one so much that it kind of fell off its pedestal, I guess. And but now I know, going into like book 2, what to expect. I might like it more. It's just I was caught off guard, I think, with this one. And I also thought the guilty party was really easy to pick out. There wasn't a lot of red herrings, and I don't think there was a lot of suspects. So it was pretty easy, at least to me, to figure out who the bad person was. So yeah, I'm giving it 3 stars. I do think that a lot of the ladies in the Killing Time with Cozies that read cozy mysteries all the time will enjoy this for its little bit edgier, gritty, maybe type of cozy. But for me, I just really, really like my fluff. And it's just a personal preference. Nothing against the book. Just me. So, I finished that. And I can tell that I am getting a little bit of genre burnout. I picked up way too many grittier, thick mysteries. And I have this one too, which is a chunker. This is the large print edition, so it's even chunkier, but it's still like a 400 plus page book. The Jack Reacher books are all hefty. The Lucas Davenport books were pretty chunky. And I'm just not wanting to listen to them. I have this one going, and I'm about 22% into it. I have this one going as well. And I am listening to Die Trying by Leigh Child, which I am actually enjoying a lot more than Killing Floor. But I just kind of feel like, I've decided I'm going to go off my TBR. It still fits. So I'm going to listen to Lion Eyes by Julie Mohan, because I love this series. It's the country club mystery series. It has all the cozy, fun, laugh out loud type things that I like in my cozies. I know what to expect. It's number 13, and this will catch me up with the series until number 14 comes out sometime this year. And it is on my Serious About Series list, so I'm doing myself good there by catching up on it until I get to number 14 whenever it comes out. So I'm going to do that. This one is about Ellison and Anarchy Jones, and it's set in the 1970s, and it's just really, really fun. And so that's what I'm going to do. Hello, it's Saturday, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the reading vlog. I didn't finish anything today, and I probably could if I wanted to. I'm really close to finishing one, but I think I'm just going to kind of relax tonight, and I think I'm starting to get like mystery burnout because all I've read is like this one genre throughout the whole month. And as much as I love mysteries, I do like to throw in some other genres, and I put too many thick books on my TBR, and I think that's what's bogging me down. I should have put a lot more shorter books on there. And so I just wanted to take like the night off and just kind of watch TV or YouTube or whatever. So I'll just go ahead and just recap what I read. So I read Killing Floor by Leigh Child. This is the first book in the Jack Reacher series, and I enjoyed it. I think I initially said 4 stars, but I think I might give it like 3.5 stars, but we'll probably up it to 4 because I am currently reading the second book, and I'm liking the second book a lot more, and so I think the second book's more of a 4 star, where this is more like a 3.5. But I did like it, but I'm not huge on first person POV. I like third person, especially when it's like mystery thrillers like this. And that's what I'm liking more about Die Trying, is it's in third person. And this one was just, I think, you're learning about Jack Reacher and where he comes from, what he used to do, dealing with the death of somebody that is personal to him, and all that stuff. So you're just kind of getting some background and everything on Jack Reacher, which is cool. And yeah, I did like this. I was using this as a group read for this channel. So if you are reading this one during March Mystery Madness and you didn't join my Discord, that's fine. If you're reading it, you want to let me know what you thought about it, just leave a comment down below. Just don't spoil anything. And so yeah, there's that one. And I also used this for my character for the Magical Readathon because I still needed to work on one character prompt. And I also doubled it with the Magical Readathon that was happening this last week, for the Gear Up, and I used it for the pole arm, which was to read a book that was over 400 pages. And the other book I needed to read for the Magical Readathon was a book that had featured night on the cover. And so I read The Abduction by John Grisham, which is the second book in the Theodore Boone series. And so now I have read books 1 and 2, and that was how I was using this series for the March Mystery Madness, was to read the first 2 books in this series. And so I did that. I really enjoyed this one. I gave it 4 stars. I like this series. It's really fun. This is about a kid who is really good with like law and stuff because his parents are lawyers, and so he kind of helps kids that are his age and everything when they have problems. And then this one, his friend was abducted, and he figured out what happened and everything. So it was pretty good. And then I read The Postman Always Rings Twice by James M. Caan, and I'm giving this one 3 stars. I thought it was decent overall, but it's definitely dated, and it did have some like racial slurs that you should watch out for if you don't want to read books like that. And the characters were so deplorable, and they were supposed to be, but also it was only 120 pages, and I just didn't think there was enough substance for a higher rating than 3 stars. It was just okay. And then I read, or finished, because I'd been working on it for a while, Homicide in hardcover by Kate Carlisle. And it's the first book in the Bibliophile series, and it wasn't exactly what I was hoping for, and it's just not quite the kind of cozies that I'm used to. And I like the theme, the Bibliophile, like she's a bookbinder, and I liked Derek, the security guy. He was pretty cool. Her friend's kind of cool, and things like that. So I liked everything like that, but there were just some things in it that I didn't care for, and so it gets 3 stars, but I will try the second book to see what I think. Now that I know to expect certain things in these books, then I'm not going to be caught off guard, I guess you could say. So, yeah. But yeah, it was decent. Then I did a re-listen of To Helvetica and Back by Paige Shelton. It's the first book in the Dangerous Type series. And this was the Killing Time with Cozy's read-along pick. The series is only got 3 books in it, so it won't take very long to read along. We like the short ones. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it the first time, and I enjoyed it the second time. I really like Claire and her grandpa and Seth, and the town's just, it's just fun. I really enjoyed it and gave it 4 stars. So yeah, that's everything that I read for this week. There was 5 books, which was really good, and I could tell that I was like slowing down in my reading. I'm having a hard time deciding which book to read next. That's why I'm like, uh-oh, I'm losing my mojo, and I still have a week and a half to go. So hopefully I can keep it up. I may go off TBR and throw in some short things in here. But anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.